We are from the University of Guelph's Wellness Education and Promotion Center, which is located on the first floor of the J.T. Powell building. You could also find us online. We are an educational resource center that provides information and resources to students, staff, faculty, residents life staff, and off-campus groups. Disclaimer, this workshop is intended to be fun and to serve as an introduction to sex toys. Please note that you must be 18 years of age to purchase a sex toy. The material that we are presenting is sexually explicit and may be offensive to some. You are free to leave at any point during the workshop.
We are going to talk about may not be things that you're interested in exploring yourself, and that's okay. If you're not currently sexually active, that's okay too. Everyone has their own preferences. However, we ask that you be respectful of the sexual diversity on this campus. Please be conscious of the way your words and actions may affect other people. We are also challenging you to think beyond the commonly held stereotypes about sexuality that are often portrayed in media.
And with that, let's begin. Hello and welcome back to our Sex Toys webinar series, brought to you by the Wellness Education and Promotion Center from the University of Guelph. This webinar series is meant to be an introductory way for you to learn about safe use and diversity of sex toys. For the third part of our series, we will be busting some myths. We are equipped with hard facts to tear down these commonly held misbeliefs. Our first myth is, all men who have sex with men are gay and will have anal sex. In reality, many MSM, men who have sex with men, individuals do not practice anal sex at all. Others may only give, others may only receive, and others may switch. Behaviors do not decide one's identity. We must understand people as they identify themselves. Men who have sex with men may do so by way of oral sex, stimulation using hands, the use of hands in other activities, which brings up the good and important point that the term sex can mean a lot of things to different people. Also, we say men who have sex with men because we recognize that there are those who do not identify as gay who do these behaviors. Also, anal penetration can be enjoyed by anyone with an anus, meaning a lesbian individual, a transgendered person, a heterosexual couple, and anyone else with an anus can enjoy anal stimulation. Behaviors do not determine one's sexual identity.
Myth: lesbians won't want to use toys for vaginal penetration. The reality is that the sexual stimulation a person with a vagina enjoys is not determined by their sexual orientation. Not being sexually attracted to a man or to people with penises does not mean disliking vaginal penetration. As we have seen, there are many ways to be penetrated using a vibrator, a dildo, and things like hands. Also, we must be careful not to assume that a lesbian, a woman attracted to women, does not have a penis, as a trans woman or intersex woman could have a penis with which they could penetrate other women.
Myth: everyone who is sexual will enjoy using sex toys. In reality, some sexual people will not enjoy using sex toys, either altogether or at certain times in their life. Just as people may choose to abstain from sex or be monogamous, they may choose not to incorporate sex toys in their sexual repertoire. Also, we must recognize that not all people are sexual. Often, presentations on sex toys ignore asexual individuals, meaning people with no sexual attraction. However, asexual people may still experience desire and may choose to engage in sexual activities like masturbation for physical release or sexual acts with a partner who is sexual and wants to be sexual together. Therefore, we must recognize that even those who are not sexual may have cause to use sex toys and may enjoy using sex toys. Asexual people have the same levels of sexual functioning as sexual folks, just no attraction. There's no direction or focus of sexual desire. So their bodies can respond to sexual stimulation from a sex toy like the body of a sexual person.
Myth: sex toys and masturbation will make the real thing seem less exciting. The reality is, sex toys are a way to introduce variation into your sex life. They can stimulate the senses in many different ways and produce different kinds of sensations. Think of them as ways to expand and diversify your realm of sexuality, both alone and with anyone else. There is nothing about the pleasure you get from a sex toy that is any less real and stimulation from another person touching you. The real thing is whatever kinds of sex you want to be having, whether that is with toys or not. When we think of the real thing as penile vaginal penetration, we ignore all sorts of identities and behaviors. Many people are uninterested or unable to have that kind of sex. As for masturbation, sexual pleasure with oneself is very different from sexual pleasure with others, and knowing our own bodies can make us better at communicating what we want for a sexually satisfying experience. We are all responsible for our own pleasure, and sex toys and masturbation are another way for us to exercise this responsibility.
Myth: older adults should not be having sex once they are old because it is dangerous. In reality, having sex into old age correlates highly with better health status physically and mentally. Many older adults are having satisfying and regular sex experiences, and when we pretend that this is unsafe or gross, we shame them for their right to sexual expression. Many older adults are in very good states of physical fitness and can enjoy a variety of sexual behaviors that present no danger at all. Part of this myth is the idea that older adults may be physically disabled and therefore sex is too risky. But physical disability at any stage of life, temporary like a broken leg or permanent like never having functional legs, does not make someone no longer a viable sexual being, and thinking this hurts those people. If someone does use mobility aids, for example a wheelchair, there are still tons of opportunities for fulfilling and satisfying sexual pleasure. We hope you learned some new facts and you come again to our next part where we talk about reducing risk with sex toys.